G'day everyone, welcome back. We are back aboard the boat, finally. I feel like it's been a long time since I've actually gotten back on the boat and been able to get some work done. First off, if you haven't sort of been to the channel before, my name's Tim. We're currently on my 34-foot Hartley cruiser. Her name is Kiarra, and we're slowly working our way through getting this very nice boat, sort of. I think it's nice anyway. Getting this boat back to a good, seaworthy, presentable condition. Anyway, if you would be so kind, I'd be very grateful if you'd go and hit the subscribe button. They've been dropping a bit lately. I think YouTube might be doing one of those things where it goes through and unsubscribes people for some reason. So if you're not subscribed, just check. Or if you think you're subscribed, just check anyway. Have a gaze. Like I said, if you're not, while you're there, hit the button. That really helps me out. Certainly helps the boat out and makes it so that I can try and save this beautiful old girl so she doesn't just rot away and fall down again. Alright, enough of that. Today's job, we're going to install a toilet. This is something I've been saying I'm going to do for a while. I've only had the toilet for, I don't know, a month. So, you know, we can't rush these things. It's probably not quite what a few people were expecting. It's not what you would generally install in a boat, especially a boat of this size. But anyway, let's run through what we've got, why I've chosen to go this route, and then I'll show you the small space that it's got to fit in. So, alright, so this is what you would typically find in a caravan, and why I said you wouldn't normally find one in a boat of this size. So, like I said, Kiarra's 34 foot, touch over 10 metres. She's a decent sized boat. The sort of hang-ups with this is that it doesn't have a very big holding tank. It's 19 litres. Not sure what that is in gallons, so I couldn't really convert for you. Probably could, just not that good at maths. But either way, that's not very big. Especially, pardon me, when you consider the size of the overall size of the unit, right? Now, this particular one is probably the most compact one I could find. Now, for reference, it's a Ford, or if that's how you say it. It's a C260 series. This is a non-ceramic bowl. They wanted like a good extra 200 to 250 bucks just for a ceramic bowl, and I couldn't justify that. So yeah, like I said, it's got a holding capacity of 19 litres. That's quite small for a boat of this size. Like if you've got, you know, this boat, I think I can legally put about 14 or 15 people on. I wouldn't, they'd be very squishy, but I could. This sucker's going to fill up real quick. But it was one of those things where I had to sit down and be quite honest with myself and how I use the boat. I'm not living on the boat. I'm not. It's not a liveaboard. I mean, certainly comfortable for a couple of nights. I've stayed on it. I think the longest I've stayed on it is 4 nights in a row. You know, it's quite comfortable, but it's not a liveaboard. I'm never going to live on it. Maybe one day someone will, but I'm not. This is going to be put in to help the family and, you know, myself, obviously. You know, when you got to go, you got to go. But this will be here for the family, because it's really annoying when, you know, kids say they've got to go. Yeah, if you've got kids, you know what I mean. As soon as they say, Dad, I've got to go to the toilet, they have to go to the toilet now. So that's where this is for. And also in the regulations where we are, I cannot have a an over the side discharge, which, you know, okay, fine, fair enough, no issues with that. So I can't have an overside discharge. I can have a larger holding tank in the boat and use a conventional style macerator marine toilet, but I looked very hard under the floors to try and find somewhere to put a holding tank of any more than sort of 30 or 40 litres. It just wasn't going to happen. I'd have to custom make one, which is fine. And then the other issue was I found a spot where I could put about probably a 50 litre tank, and it's sort of near the galley, sort of behind where the camera is now. But even there, I couldn't plumb it. There's too many ribs, bearers, bulkheads in the way, whatever you want to call them. I couldn't plumb it. I couldn't fit an 1.5 inch line there, and even if I couldn't fit a 2-inch suction line back out, because the skin of the boat is very, very close to the actual wall of the boat. So it's really hard to run a big 2-inch line up to a deck fitting to a pump out. That's sort of a lot of words to try and justify why I went the way I did, but I hope that helps explain it. This thing is also fully self-contained, apart from the water. So you need to plumb water to it, pressured water. That's fine. I've got I've got a water tank on the boat. I've got a pressure pump. No worries. Push the button. It does a flush of a certain amount, and then goes down into the holding tank. Now, the holding tank, if I can get him out. So that's the holding tank. Now, another sort of good thing about where we are is that anywhere you can, or any marina or dock or berth that has facilities for pump out, like a deck suck out, also has facilities to empty a canister. All the ones here, they've got a lid that lifts up and you empty the canister into that. So I'm not limited as to what I can do with this. Yes, it's only 19 litres, but I just go to the exact same place I would have had to have gone to suck the black water tank out anyway, and I dump it. The other beauty is I don't have to take the boat there. I can pull it out and I can carry it. They're fully sealed. I wouldn't like to tip one upside down, but they are fully sealed when they're out. There's a cap that goes on there. There's a fully, you can't see it down there, can you? So that gets fully sealed, both fumes, so smells, and also liquid and solids. It can't come out. You can turn it upside down. I can put that in the tinny, take it back home, or not home, but take it to another waste dump point and dump it. It was a bit of a not a no-brainer. I put a fair bit of thought into it. It was probably the best solution I could come up with for my situation. Probably won't be right for everyone's situation, but for how I use the boat and the physical packaging of how I have everything laid out, it's going to be the best for what I need to do. Alright, that's enough. I feel like I haven't done any work yet. It also come with this particular one when I brought it, and I paid full price for it. Nobody's given me anything. Comes with the door. So there's a trap door, which is in there. There's a trap door which has to go in this wall because, like you just saw me do, the canister comes out of the back. So there's a specific orientation for the toilet in the room, and I'll show you that in a sec. And then there's a specific way the canister has to come in and out. So yeah, but all in all, pretty simple. Just need to, like I said, water, and I think there's power and I'm not sure if there was a full switch in there or something. Either way, we'll figure it out. We'll read the instructions and go from there. So alrighty, let's get set up. I'll show you the space and I'll show you how well it doesn't fit and how we're going to make it fit. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, you probably haven't seen this room before because I don't show it very often, but this is the head. This is the bathroom, the toilet, the shower. It used to have a massive sink there. It was freaking huge. So anyway, got rid of that. The old toilet was a hand plunger style macerator that used to dump straight over the side. Like I said, we can't have that where we are. It's against the regulations, so that had to go anyway. And the valves were no good, so it was stuff anyway. The shower used to plumb somewhere. I can't remember where it was now. Anyway, I basically got everything out of the room in preparations to rebuild it, and that was quite a while ago. I was probably a little bit premature in that because it would have been nice to still at least have somewhere to wash your hands in here. But either way, we're going to put a sink back in here, a much smaller, more appropriate sink. The toilet, obviously, and then we're going to put a shower back in, and I will be having hot water. I'm going to have an instant gas hot water. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but that will go back in. The toilet, if you can get much point of reference, is going to go here, and it takes up pretty much the entire room on this side. So let me finagle it in there, and then we'll show you what it looks like. So there we go, toilet's in. Not sure what that light's doing for the camera. Hopefully it's not washing it out too bad. Toilet's in. Now this is where it has to go because, like I said, the canister has to come out of the back of the toilet. So this is where it has to go. This toilet has a neat little feature whereby the bowl if I can do it with one hand. Come on, there we go. The bowl actually swivels like that. So it's not bad. It really, when it's all said and done, it doesn't really take up a lot more room than what the original one did, because the original one stuck out quite a long way as well. Still got plenty of room to walk in here. You know, lift the lid, sit down, do your business. I mean, I'm quite short, and this is still a pretty good height for me. Be a little bit hard for the kiddos, but you know, we can come in here and give them a hand anyway. Now, as you might notice, it doesn't quite fit. I hate cutting up new things, but I'm just going to have to in this instance. I'm going to have to trim this lip off, so that's going to get cut back in there, and then same for the other side, and then there will be enough room to slide it across, and it'll sit. I'll probably have to notch the trim out as well to get it to fit in there, but it'll fit good. I'm not sort of super worried about it. But that's where it's going. That's probably the easiest job of the day, I think. So we're going to have to make a support for it down here. Obviously it's not sitting up on anything right now, so we're going to have to extend this step across. But what we need to do is make sure that we leave a gap. Whatever board we make or whatever box we make has to have a gap left under it, because this is also the shower floor. So it has to run down and under and into the drain, which is under there. So that's just a consideration we need to make. So yeah, I think first step, we're going to cut these lips off and make sure it fits in there properly, and then we're going to get to making the step. Righto, trimmed up, we're in. I'm actually really happy with that. It'll come back a bit more and sit pretty much up against the trim. I don't have to cut this trim. I thought I would, but I don't, so it's going to sit in there. I may have to trim this, like a little rubber gasket thing at the top. I may have to trim that just to get it to sit back that little bit further. But it's in there, that's good. And the other thing is too, so like I said, the bowl swivels. It does encroach out here in a little bit as to what will be the shower area, but if I can spin it around by hand, which I probably can't, come on, there we go. So when you're not using the toilet, you can just spin it like that and you get basically all the entire floor space of the shower back. So that's pretty good. I didn't plan on that, but that's great. I'm really happy with that. So next step is we're going to make the support work under here for the toilet, then we can screw it down, and then we're going to come out here. We're going to have to figure out where we need the hole in the wall. Actually there's something I didn't check. Oh no, that's okay, that'll fit. So anyway, we need to figure out where we need the hole in the wall for the doggy door, so that we can get the canister in and out. So I'm going to make a box for that, and then we'll come back to that. Alright, so this is where we're up to. I've got two bottom bits cut, there's one there and then one in behind it, then a floor. I wish that bit was a bit longer, I could have made it good, but I'll make a little infill panel there. Yeah, and that's going to be more than strong enough to hold it, so I'm going to pull it apart, glue and screw those bits. You'll have to excuse the angles, it's just really tight in here. Glue and screw these bits to the floor, and then I'll make some little standoff blocks to come down as well to support the backside. Then we can actually put the toilet in and cut the doggy door hole. Things are getting big. This I was trying to figure out how to put it all together. Instructions. I'm not typically one for reading instructions. I glance through them, but generally I don't tend to put too much time into it, which is definitely a character flaw. I've got many, don't worry about it. But it comes with full scale templates for all the drillings, for where we need to drill to mount, and also for the door, for the doggy door, to be able to get the canister in and out. So it's arts and craft time. I need to cut out this template and cut out that template. I don't need that one. That one's for a access door to fill the water if you have a fully self-contained, so you have one that doesn't plumb water. Mine plums water. But yeah, I need to cut all this out and then go and sit it where the toilet's supposed to sit, and then I can come through and I can mark all my holes and yeah, go from there. There's a bit in this. I'll show you the door in a minute, but the door, it gets complicated quick. So I'm going to cut all this out and then we'll sit it in there and mark our holes. Tell you what, this has taken some work to figure out anyway. So, I mean, yeah, it's the Ford branded, so it's all supposed to sort of work together, but I don't know, it sort of doesn't. Well, it doesn't, I suppose. That doesn't make any sense, but anyway. That's the toilet template, so that's the height of it. Comes down, there's a bracket that I've got to drill into the wall there. No worries. No idea what B's for. I can't find a reference to them in the book. There's that template there, sorry, this one. There's the one that comes with the toilet, and it's a guide to make sure that you have enough room to put the door. I already know I don't have enough room to put the door. Things are going to have to get trimmed. I'm sort of doing a lot of split the difference and, you know, knowing that I'm going to have to trim bits and pieces to make this fit. It's going to just fit. This outer one, it comes with the door. So there's two that come with the door. There's this one, which is the actual aperture you have to cut. It's the hole you have to cut, which that has to fit into. This is the inside panel. It's got to fit into that hole, and it will. I'm going to have to trim. I'm going to have to trim some of this. Well, not up here, but yeah, down here. I'm going to have to trim some of that to make it fit. But it will go in. The tricky bit is getting it at the right height, because if it's too high, then obviously the canister, you have to sort of lift it up and out of the canister. If it's too low, then you might not be able to get the canister actually out. It might hit on the top. I think I'll be alright. I'm in the... I sort of put the canister in and out of the door, and there's plenty of room there. I don't think we're really going to struggle too much. But that's where we are. So now I need to come through and drill these holes with some pilot holes. And then I move this template to the outside and use the pilot holes to line it up. And then we cut it. I wish I had brought a jigsaw. I didn't. I've got my circular saw and my renovator, so I should be able to get it done with that. I don't know if this wall's... gee, I hope it's not solid. That's going to suck. Anyway, we'll see. We'll make it work. But yeah, I'm going to come through and I'm going to drill these two holes, move it to the outside, and then I'll cut the outside. And we'll see what happens. This is a little bit of the can't go back station right now, so I'm trying to check 3, 5, 10 times and only do it once. At some point you've just got to suck it up and cut the hole though, don't you? So let's go. Huh, that's thick. Through yet? Oh, that's going into there. Far out. Hey, we're through. The other one's going into here. I think I'm going to have to trim that sooner rather than later. Cheese and whiskers. Oh, come on, Edgy. Alright, I think we're going to do it. Not dodgy, just probably not how the manufacturer would have done it. Guarantee it, to be honest. Okay, now... I also know that hole skewed a little bit because of the way the drill was, so we're going to go and do it really up there.
try and get it a little bit. Probably didn't skew that much, probably about that much, I think. Try and see if we can get it square-ish to the wall. Yeah, not too bad.
More tape. Ugh. Grab my tape for me, will you? It's only over there. What are you doing? Sitting there, bloody watching, I don't know. Watching and not helping. I don't know if you can see the angle or not, but it seems like there's a long gap over there. It's because this wall is redonkulously thick. So, I don't really know how that's going to work yet, but, well, yeah, end of statement. I don't know how that's going to work yet. So this is sort of where it's going to be. It looks, like I said, looks offset because of the wall in here. Like you've got, you know, however thick that wall is. And I just don't know if that's going to do what it's going to. Oh, it's going to sit there. Oh no, that'll fit. Well, you know, fit. Oh, we got some scalloping to do, but that's okay. I have to munch that back a lot. Yeah. Okay. Well, it'll fit inside the aperture. It'll fit, no worries, over here, and then yeah, I'm just going to have to come in with the renovator and just scallop a whole heap out of there. Alright, well, that is what it is. I suppose we mark it now and then get the cutty cut. A little bit nervous. I don't know why. I've cut bigger holes in this boat before, but still, a little bit nervous. Well, that got expensive quick. I realised that circular saw probably wasn't the best for the job. I could have plunged in. A little bit dangerous, but you don't go around corners very well with a circular saw. And the renovator just would not have done it. Yeah, it just wouldn't have. So, I went and brought a little recip saw. Some blades, so they're nice shallow blades, a 9, what are they, 6 TPI. They're aggressive. I've got 5 of them, so, you know, hopefully we don't destroy all of them. Anyway, new tool. It's, yeah, wasn't overly cheap. No Milwaukee stuff's cheap, but it was, yeah. What are you going to do about it? Alright. Drill a pilot hole first with the hole saw, if the hole saw is big enough. Yep, pilot hole with the hole saw so I can get the blade in there, and then we'll get this thing cut out. Alright, you have to excuse the change of camera. The big one went flat. But this is where we're up to. So, yeah, I got it installed. Really did have to sort of go to town a bit and make the hole bigger than it has to be. Obviously there's no door material here yet. What they expect you to do, and I couldn't, sorry, get that better, there we go. What they expect you to do is the cutout material from here, you then cut out a second profile and it fits in here, and then there's like a retainer that clips in. That would have been really nice because I could have kept, you know, exactly the same timber finish onto there, but it wasn't meant to be. I had to just go to town to get that hole big enough. It's, yeah, it wasn't very pretty, but that opens, that's in, and I can get the cassette out with miles of room to spare. So that's the big win. In and out, no worries. Put that back up, flips up, all good. And well, I'll just get another, just get a bit of timber. Hopefully I can get something pretty close, stain it if I have to. And this is what we're looking like inside. So yeah, could do with a little bit more fitting. It fits nice in there. The seat's sort of good, it's at a pretty good height. It's not quite ready to use yet. I still need to plumb water and the electricity, but to do that I've got to go to the hardware store and get some bits and bobs. So I will. Like I should have said before, the seat when it's not in use, you can put it like that and you still end up with a substantial amount of room here, which is good. Yeah, I mean, you could in theory use it like that if you wanted to. It'd just be a bit more uncomfortable. Yeah, you can spin it around. I'm happy with the way it is. That's a good solid base, and still got the gap under there for the water to flow when we use the shower. So that's sort of that far. The next step, like I said, I've got to go and get some fittings and some plumbing. While I do that, I might as well get the plumbing to install my shower sump. So this goes down in the bilge. The shower comes into it. I'm pretty sure I do actually have some 3/4 inch hose that I can run into it. On the other side, the outlet, so it's just like an internal regulator float switch pump, just a bilge pump. The outlet tees into your bilge pump with a one-way valve so you can't backflow, and then effectively what happens is all your shower water comes in, fills it up, the bilge pump pumps it out. This is designed to catch all the heavy sediment, and obviously you just be mindful about the products you use, so environmentally friendly products, things like that won't hurt the water or the environment when it gets pumped out. But yeah, this catches all the all the gunk, and then you I'm not going to pull it apart, but this lid just unclips and you clean it out every so often, and yeah, where you go. The other bonus is, so you have a vent as well, and the other bonus is that this can act as a second bilge pump. If for whatever reason your bilge gets that much water in it that it comes into this, well, this will trip and act as a second bilge pump and pump out. So that's just another little bonus of it. But anyway, I'm going to measure up all the fittings and hoses I need, and I'm going to get to the hardware, and then we can try and get this sucker done. Alright, well, I sort of got carried away, which is pretty standard for me. The boat is an absolute mess, but we're plumbed, so, and wired. I got off the boat and went to the hardware, and they didn't have what I needed, so I ended up having to go home and dig through a bit of stash, but also go to another Bunnings closer to home, and they had what I needed. You wouldn't think it'd be that hard to find some T-pieces and bits and pieces, but anyway, it's semi-permanent. Yeah, semi-permanent, just because I know what I'm like. It's all plumbed properly. I teed into the high pressure, the normal pressure on the boat, and it goes to the toilet. I ran another 12-volt supply down to the solenoid inside the toilet, which obviously opens and closes and allows it to flush. Reason why I say semi is that that's the wire running along there. This boat needs to basically be not completely rewired, but it needs really good going through. But also, I left that as a big enough supply to run the shower sump when it comes in. So, because I certainly don't want it running off the bilge pump power, and that's the only 12-volt down the front of the boat is the bilge pump power. So I ran a separate one, more than big enough to handle both the toilet solenoid, which only ever comes on when it's on, and the shower sump. Anyway, yeah, I didn't do this door. I'm going to take this home with me, and I'll do it at home. I should be able to do a much nicer job on the bench, get it looking schmick, and then come and reinstall it. But we have a toilet, so I put some chemical in there, and if we push the button, it flushes. So the idea with these toilets is you do your business, and generally speaking, there'll be a bit of liquid in there as well. You put sort of basically just enough water to allow it to flush, and then there is a handle down here. You open that up, and it all drops through the big orifice into the tank. You don't sort of push this and hold it and fill the bowl to flush it. So there needs to be some awareness with using it, so that you don't overfill it. But like I said at the start, the amount of times we're going to be on the boat for any more than maybe 2 or 3 days it's just not going to happen. And also, like I said, anywhere that I would be able to have pump out facilities for a standard blackwater tank also has facilities to accommodate emptying a canister. So no loss. The only thing is it's a small capacity, but we've been through that. So yeah, anyway, it works. I'm pretty happy with it. It's nice and solid. It's not going anywhere. Pretty good height, like I said. What we're going to do though is we're going to end the video here because this boat's an absolute mess, and I think we're coming back out with the kids tomorrow. So I need to do a bit of cleaning up in here. Yeah, next, so I am going to keep going with this bathroom until it's done. So next couple of videos will be just getting this bathroom completely finished, the shower sump, the sink, and then obviously patching that dirty big hole in the wall, pulling everything back out again, and doing all the waterproofing membranes and things like that. So I really want this, I want to get the head completely finished, done, back to good, because it's really the only part of the whole boat that is not in a presentable state, well, except for the outside, but we don't talk about that yet. As far as the inside goes, it's the only part of the boat that's not, you know, presentable and usable, and I want to change that. So alrighty, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Like I said, the numbers have been dropping a bit lately, which is certainly partially my fault. I haven't been putting up as much content. I do apologise for that, and I'm going to try and change it. But yeah, I think every now and again YouTube goes through and seems to cull subscribers. I don't know why. So yeah, if you could check if you are subscribed. If you're not, please push the button. There'll be plenty more boat content coming up, as well as RX-7 and racing mowers and anything and everything you've come to expect from the channel. So alright, till next time, stay safe, and yeah, see you then.